Hello, my name is Marsha Grahek, and I am the author of the book Powerful Parenting. I want to share with you how I ended up writing this book. This book is a journey about my special education experience. I started working with special education children at the Methodist Family Services. This was a program where students who came into the program, they had a choice. They could either go to lockup or else they could voluntarily sign themselves into the Methodist Family Services program. So the kids that I was dealing with were kids that were very, very streetwise. They were tough kids. A lot of the kids had stolen cars. Some were involved in drugs. Some were involved in alcohol. There's a lot of there was a lot of hardcore problems that they were involved with and charges that were brought against them. So, as a worker and a teacher, I learned so much when I was working with them. These kids seemed so hard and so streetwise. I just felt like there was a block there, and it was hard to reach them. But as I worked with them and I got to know them, and they took down their tough attitude, and I saw their heart. I remember thinking, wow, I cannot believe this. These kids are in tears and they are devastated and they are crying in group meetings because they're saying that their parents did not care about them and that they did not make rules for them. And I was sitting there going, I was sitting there taking notes and going, wow, I really need to remember this because I never knew that these kids wanted rules and guidance and parents to be involved the way they were. And so as I continue to work with them, these children, and then as I continue to work in different settings, I worked in a residential psychiatric setting, I worked in the school setting, I worked with elementary students, I worked with middle school students, and I worked with high school students. And in working with them, I learned so much from them about what they wanted, what they expected, what made them feel safe, and all these treasures that I learned, I ended up putting them together in this book, Powerful Parenting. And in this book, I am talking to you about the strategies that I learned, the techniques I learned, the wisdom that I gained from working with these students. And I was able to take it and put it all together into a parenting book. And this parenting book is unique in that not only is it filled with wisdom that comes from children who are very difficult to reach, and children that, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people just do not want to deal with them. It also provides you with strategies that I have found that works in reaching these students and in changing them. The book is divided into different chapters, and after each chapter there is an application section so that you can take the information you learned in that chapter and you can apply it to your own child, or if you're a teacher, a student that you might have difficulty working with, if you're a grandparent, a grandchild, you can apply it to any type of situation. So this book is very important if you want to learn to have a good healing relationship with whoever it is that you're working with. I'll give you an example of a student that I worked with in middle school, and when that child was an adult, I ran into them at the parking lot at the grocery store, and that child came to me and said, "Miss Grahek, I just want you to know something. When I was in school, I didn't feel like anybody in the school cared about me except for you and one other teacher." And he said, even the way you look, the way you stood, the way your body language, all of it let me know whether you cared about me or not. And when I felt like you cared about me and that there was somebody really invested in me, then that allowed me to want to change. So I will never forget that. That was a very, very special conversation that I had, because I said, wow, even the way I look at you and the way I interact with you, that lets you know how I truly feel. And it's true. So I'm encouraging you to get this book, Powerful Parenting. This is a book that can be helpful to parents, grandparents, teachers, guidance counselors, principals, therapists, anyone who is interested in having a relationship with any type of child, you know, elementary, middle, high school child. This is very helpful. And you can get this book at Barnes & Noble bookstore, or you can get it Books A Million, Amazon, TargetChristian.com, and this right here will help you with your parent-child relations. And I hope you get it. And I'm excited about the change that will come about between you and your child. And I thank you for listening to this.